Hey guys, this is Chris with NOBSForex. Jumping into a few charts today after we had some earnings and the markets had some ups and downs. So I wanted to go over a few charts. So let's jump into it. Right now we're starting off with Apple that had earnings today. The earnings were actually pretty decent, but as you've seen of late, even if you have good earnings or decent earnings, the market's still going to punish you because they're looking for perfection. And, we've been going up forever, so we're starting to get some reversion here, even if some of these earnings are kind of decent. So let's look at a longer term chart at first. Let's take a look at the weekly. We are in an obvious uptrend since back in April, where we came out of this huge balance area coming off of 200 all the way up to 240 almost. So past couple weeks we've been pulling back, and with earnings today we're up about a little over 0.5% right now on after hours. So let's take a look at the hourly. So you can see one thing I like to look at is balance areas and longer term support and resistance. So you can see we were in this big uptrend since late June, and now we're kind of just pulling back off of that. So one area you want to keep an eye on is this 206. You definitely don't want to break that if you're a bull. Otherwise you're going to be coming down to this monthly area at 200. So hold 206, and we could still have some upward action, but you can see here, look how we've kind of balanced in here, dropped out. Now we're back into this balance area. On earnings here today, we dumped down to this monthly area, and then we push back up to the top of this box. So shorter term, here's the levels you want to look at. You want to hold 216, otherwise we're going back to this 212, 206, and then 200. And on the upside, if we can get a break out of this box and hold it, then we're going to be coming up to this next box around 223 and then 227. So right now we're just kind of in balance. We're still in this balance area. We popped out a little bit, came back down, and now we're challenging the top of this box again. So I'd keep an eye on 220. If we can get above 220, it's at 219.50 right now in the aftermarket. So depending on NFP tomorrow, we'll see how this goes. If you can get a break above 220, you hold it. Then I look for 223 and 227. So that's Apple. Let's take a look at who else we had today. Amazon. Got to type the right symbol. So again, let's take a look at the longer term. As you can see on all my charts, I really like to put in monthly and weekly levels, and then drill down, take a look at the hourly for some shorter term entries and exits. But Amazon, on a weekly level, this, obviously it looks great, right? Just like the rest of the market's in a huge uptrend. But over the past couple weeks, it's really been struggling. This is 3 weeks in a row now with continued downward momentum. And we're working on a doji right now. But in after hours, Amazon's down a little over $12, almost 7%. So right around 170. So that puts us down in this area. So that's, again, we're going to have another red bar. So it's going to be 4 red weeks in a row for Amazon. That just doesn't look good. Let's take a look at the hourly. Here we are. You can see an obvious downtrend. We were in this channel. Let's just take a look at that quick again on the weekly. You can see we've been in this channel since October of 2023. We've been holding this channel pretty tightly, and now we've broken out of it. So again, that's another negative sign. And you can see that line right here. Here's the bottom of this channel that we broke out of. So, we came down, we came out, tested it, failed, tested it, and we're failing it big time today with the earnings that weren't, horrible, but they missed. So that's not a good sign for the economy either when Amazon is going to miss earnings. So I would not want to be long Amazon right now. Here's some price levels for you to look at. 166 is a monthly level that you really need to hold. 165, you can kind of see back here. We tested this level a couple times. Again, back here at early 2024. We had this nice balance area that we kind of broke out of, came down, tested it. Didn't really break it, this 165 area, so that's going to be your line in the sand on the downside. So I want to see 165, 166 hold, especially tomorrow if we get continuation on the downside. You want to see that hold. Otherwise, we're going to be heading a lot lower probably. Down into 150s most likely. So keep an eye on Amazon tomorrow. Again, tomorrow could be pretty volatile with NFP, but this chart does not look good at all. Let's take another look at it from a moving average perspective, and you'll see how ugly this looks. So, I mean, take a look at that. We were bouncing off the 100, came down, tested it, bounced, broke it, bounced up. It looked like we were doing okay, but we couldn't get above the 50. Had a nice move up, and now we're back down again. So this really needs to hold. The 100-day, which is at it's not going to hold it. That's at 181. We're going to break that down. I mean, we're going to open, as of right now, at 170. So this is down the 200-day. 200-day is at 169. So Amazon's breaking a lot of levels, just not looking good. MACD's negative. I would not be long Amazon unless you could recover the 50-day, which is way up at 187 right now. So the first recovery zone is going to be 184 at 174. So Amazon, yikes. Really hope it can hold that 165 if you're a bull. Let's take a look at ES. Not that ES. So ES, we have been flirting with 55.30 so many times over the past couple days. Let's just zoom out a little bit. Take a look at the daily. You can kind of see we have 1, 2, 3, 4 tests of that 55.30. We broke above, and then we came back down on Thursday today, and then we're finishing at around 54.60 right now. So definitely do not want to break this 54.30 level. That's kind of my line in the sand. Otherwise, we're probably going to be heading down, 54s, 53s. I mean, it's going to start to get ugly if we get below 5,400. So I'd have a short-term line in the sand at 54.30. Break that, and this is going to go quite a bit lower. On the upward side, we've got that 55, like I said. We've been testing that so many times, and we did break out of it. 55.30 right up here. You can see how many times we've tested this area. We got a break above, and then we just failed it again today. So today we had a big look above and fail of this monthly level right here at 55.85, and it just came hammering down, kind of on some weak ISM. Probably some people having a little bit more negative opinion about the economy and potential for a recession. But you can still see we're kind of in a balance. But again, we want to hold this 54.30 area. Do not want to let that go if we get any further downside. Back into this longer term downtrend channel. That could take us down, like I said, into the 54s and 53s, 53.10. So let's see how NFP plays out tomorrow. I mean, if you take a look at the daily, this chart's been pretty erratic, right, over the past couple days. Had a big move down. The world was going to end, then we popped back up, back down. Had almost a bullish engulfing, and then today we almost had a bearish engulfing. So there's a lot of volatility coming into the market right now. I'm not sure which way we're going to go. like I said, just keep an eye on this 54.30 on the downside, 55.30 on the upside. Let's take a look at oil and gold, and then I'll be done for the day. Oil, as you can see, has been in a wedge here. We've got lower highs, higher lows. We've got a couple balance areas here on the daily. We broke out to the downside, tested that 70 level, and then shot right back up to the low 80s. Couldn't get above this trend line, and now we're just hanging back out in the balance. So keep an eye on the 74.50 to the downside, 78.50 to the upside. Let's take a little bit closer look on the hourly, so you can see how we're just kind of stuck in this balance area right now. If we can get above 78.70, 78.80 and hold it, we're going to be heading higher. We'll be heading back up into the 80s most likely. So, but if we can't hold 75, 76, then we're going to be going back down to the lower end of this box here, 74.50, and then all the way down to into the low 70s. So for oil, keep an eye on 76 and 78.50. You know, one I did want to bring up one other one, Tesla, just because Tesla has been flirting with this long-term trend line. Let's take a look at the daily quick. I mean, look at this trend line, goes back to 2021. It's been tested many, many times, and we finally broke out back on July 2nd. We had a nice breakout, moved up to a monthly level that is right now a monthly unfinished level, so it hasn't really been challenged, and it's a previous level that hasn't been challenged. And we pulled back, and then we gapped down below, broke back above, and now we're back below it again. So let's keep an eye on this 215. Right now we're around 216. So let's see how Tesla needs to get above this trend line here, 215, 216. Let's take a look back at the hourly. You can see how we've just broke out, broke back in, broke out, back in, broke out, back in. So we've got a balance area right here. Don't want to get below 210. Need to get above 235 longer term. So keep an eye on Tesla. Those levels are going to be important. If we can get back above this trend line and hold it, we can get a move back into 250. If we can't hold it, we're going to be going back down to the low 200s. And then it gets ugly if we break 200. If we break 200, we could be getting down into this 167 area, which could be pretty bad. All right, guys, that's all I have for today. If I see anything jump out from NFP, if anything changes drastically, I will provide another update. If you want to keep more up to date on a day-to-day basis, I drop charts and levels almost every day over on Twitter at NOBSForex. So give a follow over there. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I will talk to you later.